let me go ahead and tell you something. I'm home alone right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and say whatever I want, as loud as I want, because I feel like I need to apologize, and likewise, I gotta vent. First off, Jimmy Knorp, buddy, I am very sorry. First off, Jimmy Knorp, heart to heart, buddy, I'm sorry, because I did not realize the downtown Diamondbacks were this good. What the? Let me fix this camera just so you can see me on a eye-to-eye level. We can be serious here with each other. This team, in the preseason, did anybody see this team being 8-1 at the break? This further proves my statement from a few weeks back that I'm talking, okay, it's done. Preseason predictions are fun. They're good video ideas for me. They're great. But they mean nothing because the were projected to be a bottom 2 team in MLW and they are 8-1. They are doing better now than they were in their 2021 dynasty season. Take that in, and they have double the talent this time around. The talent on this team right now is absolutely insane. I don't understand what this team, like, what's going on? Like, this just goes beyond, you know, Jimmy Knorp being superhuman. This is everybody on the team in this last series. Michael Shima, Jonah Heath, Casey Bennett, everybody's hitting home runs. The team OPS is 946. Everybody's just been excelling as of late. Casey Bennett has a 312 average. How in the hell does Casey Bennett have a 312 average and an OPS of 1200? Like, I don't understand, especially because, like Jimmy Knorp said a few months back, the Gators always give us a hard time. He said that word for word in that interview. Well, let's play the clip now.
I believe that's when we went up against
the Gators. That was the Gators,
right? Yeah, Gators are like, I don't know why, they always give us a hard time, no matter if they're good or bad in their season. They're just a good matchup for us. So.
Said it word for word. The Gators always give him a hard time. What hard time? Brendan Jorgensen and Chris Cheetam just got owned by Michael Shima, Jonah Heath, the backstop, and Casey Bennett. Yeah, I'm mentioning the backstop because Chris Cheetam just blew game 2. I'm sorry, I'm also pissed because that was an easy game to win had you actually aimed for an entire, I'm sorry, there was a whole backstop that spans, let's say, 10 to 15 feet, and you missed the whole thing. You missed the whole thing. How do you manage? Tell me, how do you manage to miss the whole backstop? You cost your team a game because you missed the backstop. What the f? I don't know what to say. Like, this was definitely one way to close out the first half. Definitely was an interesting way to close it out. Because I thought the Gators would at least take a game. You know what, if they took a game, it wouldn't be that bad. They'd be 3-6 and they'd still be in the running for second place in the NL. Now, considering they just lost all those games, it's now a 4-game lead the DBacks have for first place now. And I think they clinched. They actually clinched. No, the DBacks have clinched a playoff spot. They're 8-1. The Gators, they got to win all 6 of their games to even catch them. And they have the tiebreaker over the Gators. The DBacks have clinched a playoff spot, and we're at the All-Star break. How did the Gators, bro, how did the DBacks clinch a playoff spot? What? Why? How wrong were we about this team, bro? I haven't even talked about Trey Flood on the mound. Trey Flood, the menace over there on the mound. I haven't even talked about him yet. This team's ERA is 0.93. This team's ERA is 0.93, bro. Okay, Trey Flood, most improved player right now. 0.75 ERA. This guy is splitting time with the league's best player on the mound. How? How do you manage to go from a mediocre rookie season to keeping up with the league's best player on the mound on his team? Jonah Heath was almost jobless because he's no longer needed for his pitching services. Then this series, his average is all the way up somehow to a 250. I didn't even think he was hitting that well. No, somehow he's batting 250, and he had that grand slam, which now makes his OPS and everything skyrocket. Granted, you know what? Jonah Heath, hey, it's a good world. We're living in a good world if Jonah Heath is cooking. So I'm not complaining about Jonah Heath being good. What I'm a little bit upset about is the fact that somehow we were so wrong, and I was so high on the Gators, and the Gators do this stuff.
That's gonna be a fair ball, Cheetam! Missed the backstop!
You missed the backstop! You missed the damn backstop! Now, me personally, why is Chris Cheetam an all-star as well? Well, let's just say that. Why is Chris Cheetam an all-star? Bro has a 120 batting average. A 120 batting average to the all-star game. At least Sawyer Bean's 185. At least, okay, Jorgensen out. So for the Gators, at least, Jorgensen still produced all day at an elite level. Jorgensen's still batting over 400, OPS over 1200. Jorgensen is still cooking. Jorgensen MVP season still continues. This might all go to waste now because the Gators need to... That was the worst voice crack I think I've had in the history of this channel. Oh my God. No, I gotta take a pause after that one, Chief. My goodness, that was brutal. Congrats, you got Brendan Szerlag back. Bro is batting 167 and his OPS is like 550. Cool, like that's not good enough, bro. Jason Chadwick, 250, 680. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Jorgensen's ERA just skyrocketed from like 150 to like 280 now. It's just the Gators just aren't looking that great now. I just don't know. Like I thought, at least you win a single game this series, you're fine. Considering the way the Mallards and Eagles played in that first little bit, as long as you won a game, you were fine. You were still in contention. You couldn't win a game. You couldn't hit a backstop. You couldn't hit the backstop, bro. No disrespect to anybody. I love every single MLW player. No disrespect. Dude, you missed the backstop. I know it's happened to a lot of teams. And I've dogged on the Magic. I've dogged on Chadwick for missing that backstop. It looks a lot easier than it is probably. But you whipped it. And you missed the whole thing. Like, at least, like, Chadwick, the way he threw a riser. That was bound to go over. That's physics. But you whipped it. And you missed the whole thing. How did you pull that off? Okay, because this has literally just been 8 minutes of me screaming about the D-backs somehow being excellent and the Gators being poverty. Let me give you some actual good, some notes. The Diamondbacks are no joke, and the Diamondbacks could very well three-peat this season. If this team ends up three-peating, this is by far the greatest team in the history of MLW. The Jimmy Knorp era Diamondbacks, by far the best team. We haven't seen a single team three-peat since 2010, 11, and 12. I was barely alive to comprehend life at that time. I think Casey Bennett will be a mainstay in this lineup going forward. Pishko when he's available, same thing with him. Jonah Heath, he's looked really good as well, dude. This team all of a sudden went from a lot of question marks to a lot of exclamation marks saying we are here to stay, and we are back. The Diamondbacks are more than fine. The downtown Diamondbacks are a legitimate contender in MLW right now, if not a World Series favorite. Every single part of this team is clicking and thriving right now. The dynamic duo on the mound right now, downtown destruction if you will, downtown domination, whatever you want to say, just a de-alliteration, doesn't make a difference. Jimmy Knorp and Trey Flood. An excellent duo. You start hitting off one, you got to throw the other out there, and the other one will dominate. Never say from this DBacks team. That's all I'm going to say. My sincerest apologies to Jimmy Knorp, because I know Jimmy Knorp has watched some of my videos. I know he has. Jimmy Knorp, this is directly to you, bud. I'm sorry. You have shut me up. You have shut up a lot of the damn community. You guys are legit. Seriously legit. And I definitely think that, you know what? The D-backs, if you guys three-peat, I don't even know if I'd be upset about that. Because you guys assembled such a quality team with some very late picks in the draft. No one really knew who Bennett or Pishka were. And these guys, they've done solid enough. I mean, Jacob Pishka's batting like 222. How the hell is Pishka's OPS like in the... Why is he almost 1,100 OPS? Where did Pishka come from, bro? D-backs are World Series contenders. I couldn't wait till the haters got to say this because that's going to come out in like 2 weeks. I had to get this done and over with now. These guys are the most legit MLW contenders right now. Call them pretenders, call them whatever you want. But I mean, with this team, the way everybody's playing, somehow Casey Bennett had a day that makes him look like... I don't know. I don't know what to say. I've run out of ways to say it. But the D-backs, they're legit. The D-backs are no joke. And as for the Gators, win some games, aim for the backstop. Otherwise, you guys are the next team to become a joke. And we don't need 2 straight years of Gators miss LOL. It wouldn't be Gators miss LOL because you know what? At this rate right now, you know what's coming in a few months?
Preds miss LOL, Preds miss LOL, Preds miss LOL, what a hell of a great LOL, the bull cracks LOL, Preds miss LOL.